Hello and welcome to STEM with Mr. N, where I perform different demonstrations and explain the science behind what we're seeing. This week I'm going to look at something you might have heard a lot about in recent history as I explore herd immunity. Let's check it out. Diseases can be caused by a range of different things such as bacteria, viruses and fungi, and illnesses such as the flu, COVID-19 or the measles can easily spread from person to person, either through direct contact such as shaking somebody's hand or through droplets released by people when they are coughing or sneezing. If there is no protection against these illnesses, it can lead to a widespread of these illnesses through a population, resulting in a pandemic. One way to combat these illnesses is through immunisation, and there are a couple of different ways this can happen. Your body can develop a natural immunity to something by having contracted the illness, but this can lead to long-term health issues depending on the illness that you get. Another way to protect people from illnesses is through vaccinations, and this is why these were originally created, was to protect people from the illness of smallpox, and now they have a wide range of applications specific to various illnesses to help immunise the population and help prevent long-term health issues caused by contracting certain illnesses. Not everyone can receive vaccinations for various reasons, such as having ongoing health issues. And ongoing health issues also means that some illnesses which might not affect you that much could actually kill somebody depending on what other illnesses their body is currently fighting. That's why it's important for a population to team together in the immunisation process to help develop something called herd immunity. This is where enough people are vaccinated that it can help stop the spread of illnesses and protect people who are unable to get vaccinations. The activity I'm going to show you today, which you can also easily do, demonstrates the effectiveness of herd immunity in protecting a population from an illness. To do this, all you need is 28 dominoes, some double-sided sticky tape, some red and green stickers and a pair of scissors. I'm also going to be using a kitchen tray to stick my dominoes onto because I don't want to leave sticky marks all over my table cover. The first thing I'm going to do is put a red sticker on one of my dominoes, and this is going to be the first person in my population who's contracted an illness, and I'm going to stand this domino up on the tray. I'm then going to form a triangle of dominoes where each row has one more domino than the row in front, and these dominoes represent the people in my population. So by the time I have set up my 7 rows, I have used all 28 dominoes. Once all my rows are in place, I'm going to knock down that front domino into the 2 behind and watch to see how this illness spreads through the population. And you'll notice that every single domino has been knocked down. This means that that ill person at the front infected 2 people that they're close to, they infected 3 people that they're close to, and so on until everybody in the population had contracted this illness. Now that we've seen what happens when nobody is immune, I'm going to create an immune person. To do this, I'm going to label one of my dominoes with a green sticker, and I'm going to put a strip of double-sided sticky tape along the bottom of the domino and stick this person down to the tray at the very edge of row 6. I'm going to set the triangle up again just like I did before with my infected person at the front, and then all the non-infected yet but also not immunised people standing behind. So I've got my 1 red sticker at the front, my 1 green sticker in row 6, and nobody else is labelled. Again, I'm going to knock down that ill person at the front and see what effect it has on the population now. And you'll notice this time that not only did the immune person not get knocked down, but the person behind them didn't get knocked down. This is because the immune person didn't contract the illness, so therefore they did not pass it on to one of their connections. This time I'm going to add in a second immune person. So again, I'm going to label one of my dominoes green and put some double-sided sticky tape on the bottom of this domino. This immune person is going to go at the opposite side from my first immune person, and they're going to be the second domino in row 5. So again, I'm going to set up my triangle with my infected person at the front, the non-infected but not immune people behind, and I also have my 2 immune people, 1 person in row 5 and 1 person in row 6. Again, once my triangle's in place, I'm going to knock down that front domino and see how far my infection spreads this time. And you'll notice that time that with the 2 immune people, even more people have been protected. Not just the 2 immune people, but also the people behind them. Next, I'll be setting up my dominoes to demonstrate herd immunity and how it works to protect a population. But before I do that, let's have a wee bit of an explanation. Every contagious illness has an R0 number. This tells you how many people an infected person is likely to infect. For example, an illness with an R0 of 4 means that every 1 infected person is likely to infect 4 more people. So if you had 100 infected people, they are likely to then infect 400 people. What you want to do with your population is to have enough people immunised that you counteract this R0 number to protect the people that cannot receive an immunisation through a vaccine. Depending on how contagious an illness is, the number of people in your population who need to be immune to provide herd immunity will vary. COVID-19, which had an R0 number of 2 to 6, would require 75 to 89% of the population to be immune to provide herd immunity. Out of that, I'm going to go with the middle figure of 80%, and again I'm going to set up my domino triangle so that now I have 80% of my dominoes as immune people. So all of these dominoes are getting a green sticker and they are getting double-sided sticky tape put on the bottom and stuck down to the tray. I then have 6 random people who are not immunised, and I still have my infected person at the front. Again, once my triangle is set up, I'm going to knock down that front domino and see how far my infection spreads. And you'll notice that my infection doesn't actually spread at all through the population. It stays contained right there at the front of that triangle. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I didn't actually even stick down the people in row 7 because I trusted that all of the immune people in front of that would stop the infection reaching them. So these are people who have been immunised by proxy, meaning that they've become immune to the illness because all of the people around them are also immune. That means they are protected by the immunity of the herd. And that's exactly what herd immunity is. It's where enough people in the population are immune that they're able to stop the spread of an illness, and this protects the most vulnerable in society, such as infants and very young children, as well as those with other health issues. This activity though only demonstrates the spread of an illness in one direction, and because I'm using 28 dominoes, a good way to think about that could be one ill person in a classroom of 28, or in a football club, gymnastics club, dance club, or whatever it is. But it only shows the spread in one direction. There's another way that you can show the spread of an infection through a population, not just in one direction, but to all the people around them. And for this, I'm going to use the array of circles that you can see on the screen just now. I have 9 rows of 16 circles, so that's 144 people in this population. I'm going to pick 3 people at random who are my first 3 people to be infected, so I'm going to colour them red and also mark them with a cross. These 3 people are going to infect everybody who is adjacent to them, so that's immediately above, below, left, right, and immediately diagonal in the left and right directions, both left up and left down, right up and right down. Those people I'm going to mark orange just now, and then they're going to infect the adjacent people around them, so they're turning to red and the new people are orange, and this is going to continue through as you see this illness spread through the population. And very quickly it goes from those 3 first people to the point where everybody is infected. Now we're going to look at the immunity aspect of it. So again, I've got my 3 original people with the illness, they're not changing, and now I'm going to create 5 randomly immune people, and I'm going to colour them green. Now I'm going to play the simulation again of this illness spreading through the population, and you'll see it does spread through again, although those 5 people remain immune to the illness, but everybody else has received the illness. Now what I'm going to do is run the exact same simulation again with my 3 original people with the illness and my 5 people who were immunised from the last demonstration, but I'm going to double that and add 5 more people who are immunised. So again, I'm going to colour 5 circles randomly green, and then I'm going to run the simulation and watch the spread of this illness through the population. Again, you'll notice that as this illness spreads, those 10 people remain immune and they don't get the illness, but it still spreads through the rest of the population. I'm not reaching a point where I'm really protecting anybody. Now we're going to look at this population again, but this time 80% of them are going to be immune, and we're going to run the simulation to see how far the illness spreads this time. So I've now made 80% of my 144 people immune, so that means I've got 115 people that are immune. I'm going to run the simulation and see how far the illness spreads this time. And you'll see that the illness does not spread far at all. Hardly anyone receives the illness, and those in the population who are not immune are protected by those that are. So there you go, now you've seen two different activities which simulate the effectiveness of herd immunity in protecting a population from an illness. You can also do some further research on this by looking up the R0 numbers for some common illnesses and also what their herd immunity thresholds would be. If you're interested in learning more about vaccines, check out my upcoming video, 10 things you should know about vaccines. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to stay up to date on all future content. As always, I would like to take this opportunity to answer any science questions you have about any science topics at all. So feel free to email me at stemwithmrn@outlook.com and I'll get back to you with answers to your questions. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've added links here to the other STEM demo and explanation videos I do, here to my 10 things you should know about series where that vaccines video will be coming, and here to my series on 100 scientists who influenced the world. This has been STEM with Mr. N, exploring herd immunity.